I come from a poor family, yeah, yeah. We ain't never had a lot, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the Lord been good to us, yeah, yeah. Now we riding on the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. I come from a poor family.
Good morning, Richie.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, passengers on the boats. We are here midweek on a Wednesday, and whatever you're doing, we are thankful that you're listening or watching. And thanks for joining us, Richie. How's it going so far?
Life is good. God is good.
All the time. Well, guys, let's not waste time, man. Let's go straight into our streams. Let's talk construction, Richie.
What's the theme?
Oh, the theme. Oh, thanks for asking. The theme is water leaks.
Ooh,
water leaks. So yes, you heard me right. Water leaks.
We got a water leak.
That's the theme today, guys. Let's head into our first stream, which is what's your recommendations on dealing with water leaks or a water leak?
Dealing with the water leak. Oh man, I got so many stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think one of my favorite is we used to have an employee, a worker for us. His name was Koa, and this gentleman was one of my top fave apprentice carpenters. I remember sitting down with him one day. When he first wanted to be a carpenter, and he shared his heart, and I was like, oh man, like we need more. He's like the Klay Thompson of the Warriors, man. Just has straight heart, bro. He just wants to be the best, wants to work hard for it, earn it, wants to start from the beginning. And it was a great kid, and he was excelling super fast, man. We were doing some remodels at the Ambassador Hotel in Waikiki, and he had two very bad leak moments. We had three very bad leaks on that project. When you're dealing with an old building or an old home, sometimes you're going to have unfortunate events.
Sure, yeah.
You're just going to hit the pipe in the wrong spot. But it was, I guess, to sum up the Koa story, it was just I felt so bad for the kid because he had I think a 1-inch water main.
Oh, main.
Yeah, on the it was a rise, so it supplies the whole hotel.
Oh shucks! So you're telling me they had to?
Luckily we're on the second floor, but
okay, so nothing else.
Yeah, but when he hit it, it was so bad that it was shooting. Like it was breaking concrete.
Oh man! So is that strong?
So there was just there was like this huge hole of water coming out, like you just tapped into a fire hydrant. Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. So
man.
We had buckets, cloths, anything we can to hold it while we ran to shut it down. So it's just funny because in that moment, he's got like the towel and like water is pushing him and he's trying to hold it. I was like, Koa, smile. I had I got an awesome picture of him smiling during that moment. He's like, what are you doing taking pictures right now? I wanted to capture the moment. We ended up using that because he was employee of the month one month. And we ended up using that picture. So, Koa is my man. But yeah, we had a couple bad leaks. So water leaks. One of my favorite stories for me personally, I remember I was taking off a toilet. Or no, it was a vanity valve. Basically I was turning off the water so I can unhook for the water supply line for the vanity sink fixture. You just turn the knob and you can turn it off and then you're able to take it off. Not a problem, right? So I'm turning it off. I don't know why it decided to the pressure just popped the whole valve off. And so I'm like half under the vanity, big 6'1", 6'2" guy just under the vanity, and I got water just going. So I put my hand on the pipe and I just hold it, and I'm screaming. But I didn't want to scream too loud because I didn't want to bring too much attention to the homeowners. Like a couple bedrooms down, I was like, hey. Guys, finally got a hold of one of the carpenters, and then Yeah, had them run down to the main valve and turn it off. Yeah, water leaks. It's gonna happen, man. It's part of the trade. For me, I've always shared with the guys. I like to prep them, on every project. There's certain things that we go through, checklists, and one of them is know where the main valve is to shut off for the home.
Good. Yeah.
So we always identify that before we do any demo. If you don't, you're going to be in that problem. If you do get a leak, you could be running around the house for like an hour trying to look for it, but you need to identify where that is right away. So that's one of our checklist items. Just identify where the main is.
That's good. Yeah.
Another thing I like to share with guys, don't panic. One of my favorite, this is actually one of my favorite movies. I think top 5.
Top 5, guys. Like, top 5.
Top 5. I think it really is because I could keep watching it. My wife is always like, man, you watching this again? I just watched it again recently. But the movie Titanic.
Oh, Titanic.
I mean, it's just...
That might be top 5 for me, too.
That's just... I love that movie, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a great history. It's a great love story. It's a underdog story, with Jack. The whole Jack story. I don't know. I just love everything about it.
The opening scene was one of the best.
Oh man, not
the poker, but the cart.
He did. He was so passionately excited. He just nailed that part. It was like he really the way he acted that moment was like he won. I know that feeling because that was the feeling I had when I got my orders to Hawaii. Coming from Peoria, Illinois.
That ticket.
I was like, that's the same feeling I had. So I really connected.
Young DiCaprio.
I really connected there. And then, but what I love about, I shouldn't say love. I mean, that's probably not the right word at this movie. But what I really engage in the movie is like, when the ship gets hit by the iceberg, how everyone responds. So I'm like, what would I do?
Yeah.
So I always watch it and I'm studying it. Like if I'm on the ship, how would I respond?
Right.
But I just love how Jack responds to everything. So I mean, to summarize and not tangent too much, be patient, be calm, but it is urgent. Right.
Yeah.
And so that was like one of my things with the guys, like Koa, for example, he was panicking. Like it was such a bad panic when he first did it. I was in the next room with another carpenter. He ran past our doorway 3 times at full speed, like a guy with his head cut off.
Yeah.
And I'm like right here.
Yeah.
And then he finally like found me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's wrong, man? He's like, there's a leak. I go, okay, let's go check it out. So I urgently go over there, but you got to stay calm because you got to be able to stay focused and handle the situation. So
I want to go off on a small tangent. Me and my wife, when we argue, I told her the one thing we need to do is keep our cool. It's like keep logic there because once emotion hits, you get flustered. You don't know how to communicate, and everything just goes berserk once you kind of sway and let your emotions get through. But same thing like that, right? You don't want to when something goes crazy. You want to stay calm and be collective.
Yeah, harder to do when you get in an argument with your wife. Water leak. I'm the calmest guy on earth. But then my wife telling me I need to do something that I didn't do and I did it wrong and I feel like a failure, man. I can't stay calm.
Well, we try.
We try, man.
We try. But yes, yeah.
Yeah. So staying calm, and being able to address it. I think where I really understood that and it really grasped for me is when I seen a moment our plumber, MC Plumbing, Matthew Chun.
MC Plumbing.
Yeah, his plumber was working right below him and busted the pipe and it was leaking. And he didn't even move. He was just like, okay, this is like, he was so calm about it. I'm like, dude, aren't you going to panic? He's like, if you panic, it's going to make it worse. It's water. Nobody's going to die. We're good. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
good.
Yeah. So, just staying calm, being able to assess the situation. There are ways to be prepared and there are ways to handle it, but the last thing you want to do is like panic, because then you're not going to be able to think clear. Because you got to move fast, urgently, and take care of the situation so you don't make bigger problems.
Right.
But a water leak that exposes itself like that, I always tell the guys too, that's a good thing. The worst is when there's a slow water leak you don't know about.
Oh,
You know what I
'cause
mean?
over time it might.
Oh,
it can
it can get real bad, and you never know, and it's just
Yeah.
slowly decaying.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Mold. I mean, a lot of bad things could happen. At least if it's leaking, it's exposed itself, and we could
Right.
take care of the situation. We could dry it all out. It can be handled immediately. There's no long-term damage, and you can
Yeah.
assess it
Yeah.
and things like that. So, yeah, that's like the main thing. I think my recommendations with dealing with a water leak is stay calm, but be urgent. Understand where your shut-off valve is.
That's good.
Other little things that I've learned is turn on another faucet because you want to relieve the pressure as fast as possible.
Interesting.
So
yeah. Okay.
and water is
Yeah.
like gravity. So once the pressure is released, turn off the main valve. Go open up everything you can that's below.
Yeah.
So
And then return it on.
well, yeah. So everything could release and come. And the water can degress from a different place versus where the leak is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
the main. Yeah.
the main. And so that's another trick. One of the key things we hold with us, I hold, and I try to teach our apprentice is, and listen, this is a good one, especially when you're in homes, they're going to deal with 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch copper pipes. So when those items bust or break, there is an item you could buy. It's called a shark bite. So shark bite is a coupling or a valve coupling that you could stick onto a copper pipe, and it will just stick on. You don't need to do any soldering or
What?
anything, and it will secure it.
Yo.
So we carry those with us because, like that instance when the pipe valve or the valve pulled off the pipe when I was underneath the vanity, I was able to put on the shark bite turn. So I have a valve. It's a ball valve with a turning valve handle.
Okay.
You leave it in the on position. Even if the water is gushing out and there's an emergency, you could stick on the shark bite. The water will be coming through the valve. Just turn it off.
How does this look like?
Google. You can just Google shark bite.
Shark
but
bite.
it looks like it's a ball valve shark bite. They have 1/2 inch and 3/4. I carry both just in case. But usually, like if you have an emergency situation, you can just throw that on real quick. Especially if you're dealing with a lot of plumbers, I think carry those now just as an emergency.
Yeah.
You can just shark bite, push that onto the pipe, turn the valve, turn it off.
Yeah. And
What you don't want to do is leave it in the off position and try to stick it on because water will be. It's like trying to put a bucket on it, you know.
Yeah,
You got to leave it in the on position, but you could just stick it on and shut off the valve, and then you're good. So that's another trick. Doesn't work in every situation, but it's good to have just in case. And then so that's how I deal with water leaks. Now, if you feel like, there's situations where homeowners feel like there's a leak and they can hear water or certain things. Well, another trick that we use to identify those kind of leaks is to check your water meter. And if you have everything off, your water meter shouldn't be moving, right?
Yeah.
So that's another trick to check it is, if you feel like I have a homeowner who thinks there's water leaking under his concrete, he hears something, and there's some moisture in the concrete, but it could have been some water he spilled yesterday, so that's one of the tricks. Not that will always identify it, but it's just something logically to think about, right? If the water meter is moving, then even if it's moving really slow, check it, and then maybe 30 minutes later, come back and check it. If it's still at the same number, then you got a watertight seal. Yeah, you're pretty good. So man, that's my recommendations.
Right on. So main takeaway is to stay calm and know where the shutoff valve is. Main shutoff valve.
That's huge. And if you got little tricks to carry a shark bite ball valve 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch with you, Rage is gonna have that in his pocket. You're like, what is that, man? Oh, Rich said, man. Richie said, keep this with you in case there's a water
Just
leak.
in case, guys. All right, awesome stuff, Richie. We're gonna head into our second stream, business. What are red flags that water is leaking into the boat? So red flags that you see when it's creeping in the business.
Yeah, red flag. So water leaking into the boat.
I'm sure there's a lot of
Titanic. It just made me think of the Titanic, when the iceberg, cut open the side of the ship and then water is getting in. And that's when, the main designer and engineer of the boat really panicked because he knew
it's over.
It's over.
GG. Good game.
It's over. So red flags. So you don't get into that position. That's what this question is, right?
Yeah.
We don't want a Titanic. We want you to survive your business. Construction business. Let's just talk about some cool facts I've learned early and read up upon that I just want to share, which is can be encouraging or can keep you on your toes. Okay. So encouraging meaning if you've been in business a while, all praise to you, because it's hard to survive in the construction business. And if you're just starting off, make sure you pay attention to these red flags so you don't become like become a statistic. The statistic is 1/3 don't make it through the first year.
That's 1/3, guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that means it's hard. Construction business is hard. So 1/3 of people that start a construction business don't make it through the first year. 3/4 don't make it through the second.
Oh, shucks.
So if you had 100 businesses start, if you had 100 businesses start construction after the second year, only 25 of them are still going.
Yeah.
So that's 75 businesses will shut down out of 100. That's crazy statistic. Yeah. So to not be that statistic, pay attention to these red flags. But if you made it past the second year, all power to you, because you made it past. You're not a statistic. Yeah. You're doing well. That's awesome. You made it over these things. First thing I would like to think a big problem is, especially in starting construction businesses, a lot of businesses that start, they're usually family owned, like mom and pop's shop.
Especially Hawaii.
Yeah. All over. I mean, the dad's a plumber, the wife does some bookkeeping, or maybe the husband's a realtor and the wife's a designer, or maybe the wife is carpentry and the husband is there's always that partnership. Or maybe you have kids that are growing up in your business.
They're in the trade.
There's something, in that trade world, there's always, not every time, but majority of the time I notice it's some kind of involvement. And if this involves you, I think my encouragement is pay your help, family or not. I think that's a red flag, is when you starting to get free work from your family. I know there's points in there where you got to survive and all that kind of stuff, but when you're not paying your family correctly, or because what happens is you want them to feel valued, right? Yeah. So I think that's a red flag for me, is if you're not paying your family at all and getting free work out of them. I think that could be a red flag for your business to start sinking, because they're your number one assets, and you want them to feel valued, and how to. Part of that value is paying them like you would pay yourself, right? So I think that's a big one. Paying attention to turnover rate. We just recently, maybe a year and a half ago, it was the beginning of this year. We had a first time. We used to always be the one ahead of the game. If somebody's not there, we let them go. But we had a few people starting to just not, just leave. And so we had to pay attention to that red flag. What is it? And we had to look at, what is this scenario that's happening? Because that's a red flag, whether you think you're in a great spot or not and you're doing awesome things. If people are leaving, there's a reason. There's a reason. Yeah. So you got to pay attention to that and figure that out. So high turnover rate is a red flag. If you have guys that just can't be with you, go ahead and look in the mirror, and say, okay, why, it's easy to say I'm the right one, everyone else is wrong. But I think it's very important to look in the mirror and say, wait, if I want to survive as a business, there has to be some kind of middle ground, right? Can't always be my way. When you have a partnership with a bunch of employees, you got to figure out, okay, why can't I find anybody? But then there's businesses out there that could survive past 2 years just because they found how to not have a high turnover rate. You need long-term employees, and so that's a red flag for me. This is probably my biggest one that I've learned, and I would love to share with everyone out there that wants to be business owners. Huge red flag. Are you working in the business or on the business? It's a big one. I worked in the business, right? To get it started, of course, but there has to be a pivotal point where you got to start working on the business and not in it. I mean, a boat, like, you can work in the boat, right? But if you don't work on it, that thing will sink. Right? Because if you moor in or pull into shore and then you just get off the boat and then go to life and get back in it and work again, your boat eventually will have integrity points lost all the way around because you're not repairing the boat. You're not taking care of it. Every time we pulled in when I was in the Navy, the boatsmen always took care of the outside of the ship. That was their job. They were maintaining, make sure, you know, everything was taken care of. So when we got back out, they were working on the boat, not in it, you know. And so, yeah, we can have all these operations in the ship or in the boat or in your business, but big red flag is if you're not working on the business, that thing could sink too. So that's a big one. And being able to find that pivotal point for a tradesman to hang up your pouch and be able to work on the business or be able to balance the two at least, especially in the beginning days. You got to balance it. You know, when I took my contractor license test, there's 2 tests, not one.
Okay.
There's the tradesman test and business.
You have to put them together.
There's 2 tests, and that's a big one to pay attention to. Why is there 2 tests? Because there's 2 parts you got to operate in.
For sure,
right? So it's okay to work in your business, but you don't forget to work on it. And there's a pivotal point where you need to, like, full-time work on your business while the rest of your operation, or you need somebody working on it. If you just want to have a business, but you really want to work in it, you got to have somebody working on it. So that's a big red flag.
It's tough because if you're an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business, you're going in it for the passion of what you do, right? But then you quickly find out that you need to be a businessman.
You do, and that's
businesswoman, whichever.
That's where you got to find that balance. Like some people, the desire is exactly what you said, to start your business so you could do what you love. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it slowly turns into like you have to learn these things. You need to learn the paperwork. You need to learn how to manage.
You have to be passionate about business.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, or just be passionate about what you do and do it with somebody else doing the business.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. It's true. And people realize that as soon as you build your own boat, and you realize that's not what I wanted to do, so you'd have to be passionate about business. So that's a red flag. So if you're not passionate about business, working on a business, then you shouldn't be in business.
That's a big red flag.
That is a big red flag. I guess other big ones are cash is plummeting. That's a red flag. Sales and cash is not there.
Not good.
Yeah, if
not
you're
good.
looking at your fuel tank and it's almost at empty, and like the Navy, we run off fuel. If it's getting to empty and we're not even close to land, we're in trouble.
Man, yeah.
So back to the money money episode. Make sure you have gas, man.
Make sure you have gas.
Same for a business.
Things to run,
Yeah. I think another red flag is when you start cutting your prices to get a sale. It's okay to cut prices, but if you're cutting your prices to get a sale, I think that's a red flag.
That's 2 different things.
It is
2 different things.
2 different things.
That's good. Yeah.
Robbing Peter to pay Tom. So if you're getting in debt and it's getting bad, and you're trying to pay old bills with new payments from down payments, that's red flag. You're not paying employees on time. I mean, there's a lot of red flags but definitely. Pay attention to all these. And my advice is, if you're in a hole, stop digging. Sometimes it's okay to be in a pause and, fix the business. Because if you keep digging the hole and you're already in a hole, you're just getting into a deeper. Once you hit 6 feet deep, you're dead.
Yeah. So if you're at 4, just please stop. Or 5, don't go lower than that.
Yeah, but that's a good point. If you get 6 feet deep, you're dead. So don't keep digging if you're already in a hole. Stop taking new jobs. Fix what you're doing and then take jobs. But you got to fix those things. And when you start not paying your employees and checks start bouncing, and that's just ugly. So.
Yeah, and I can't imagine the stress it brings.
It does. It does. Yeah. But there are things. Those are the red flags. It doesn't mean shut down your business. It just means you got to fix these things. And a lot of times it's money. If money's not there, it just creates all these scenarios. That's why you're not paying your family member. That's why the check is bouncing. That's why you're working in the business and not on it, because you're trying to get that money. So if you're in a point where you don't have the money, sometimes you got to work hard to present your business, maybe get an investment, or maybe it's the whole, maybe a loan can save you if you have a correct business plan, but a loan can also be another hole. So you got to be super careful. Maybe you just got to shut it down, man.
Yeah, that might be the right.
That might be the right
decision
thing
for the right
6
season.
feet deep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are red flags. I hope that helps everyone. But those are the things we look out for. I mean, mostly, I think we're in a healthy place. I believe we're in a healthy place. But, for those out there that are in a place, I think the biggest advice is work on your business, not in it.
Awesome. All right, let's head into our third stream, Richie, which is a faith stream. How do you prepare your boat in life from sinking?
The boat.
So what preparations.
Boat in life from sinking. I mean, I have an easy answer to this. Let me see how I can really break it down. I know I read something before that is really cool to think about. I kind of think about it a lot nowadays.
Sure.
Is the ocean is full of all this water, and your boat could be in it, but your boat won't sink. But if it gets inside, it'll sink you.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's like looking at all this stuff that's happening in the world, the negativity in the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you can float through this. You can continue down the stream in this. But if water gets in the boat, you can sink quickly. Just a little bit of water too now. Out of all that water, a little bit can sink you.
Small holes.
So I guess my quick answer is don't let that stuff get inside. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the negativity in the world get inside, because it can sink you. Maybe reading too much on Google. There's just so much. We're in the information age. And there's just so much information out there, and we don't know what's reliable, what's not. And you just got to really protect yourself from what's getting inside the boat, right? So we do need to keep up with things and prepare ourselves. But I think the biggest thing is, don't let negativity or things get inside, because that could sink you real quick. There's tons of negativity out there, and there always will be. There's like a big ocean, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit of water to get in your boat and sink it, especially like we were saying, that water that you don't see getting in. It's almost a good thing if you see the water getting in, because then you can repair it.
Yeah.
But if it's a small leak and it's slowly getting in, you don't know before it's too late. I mean, so you always got to protect yourself from the negativity of the world. But looking at it from a scriptural sense or from a faith-based sense, the boat is, to me, is a representation of Jesus. The hand is a representation of Jesus. So, if your boat is built with the foundation of Jesus, you'll float through this mess. You won't. I don't believe you'll sink. I remember when I was in the Navy. General quarters. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That's like that's the term meaning we're going to battle. It's battle stations. So if you watch these Navy movies, they'll be like general quarters. They yell it over the intercom, and everybody goes to their battle stations no matter what you're doing. So we would be out in the ship in the middle of the Middle East, and they would just call general quarters. I'll be sitting there playing dominoes with my friends, and then we all look at each other like, dang, I didn't even get to finish my
I was about to win.
I was about to call domino, but you just got to take off and go to your battle stations. And one thing I recognized when I was there, being in the Navy and being in that situation and just observing, I was just like, man, it's crazy. Like, our battle stations, we have guys who get behind, the computers for defense missiles and some artillery, what's the word I'm looking for? Offense to fight in war. But most of the ship members get to stations to battle fire. And to prevent leaks. Because the biggest thing is, in being a ship, we could fire all day, but if we get hit, how do we respond? Because if water gets in, what happens, man? We sink. We don't. Battleship, the board game, sink your battleship. That's the key. How do you sink the battleship? So I just thought it was so crazy. Out of 500 plus members on our ship, I think 3/4 of them were ready to prevent the leak.
That's a lot.
Prevent the fire. Fire will create an opportunity to create. We just don't want water to get in, man. At all cases. So we're trained on how to prevent leaks. With general quarters, I thought that was pretty crazy. That sometimes going to war in life, I guess they're bringing this to life. Every day is a new battle. A new 24 on the shot clock, right? So 3/4 of us, we need to be on the defense. And what I mean by that is constantly be ready to prevent opportunities where people are negativity or things are to come at us. Things aren't working out, or business feels like it's doing a certain thing, or certain things are happening in the family, or, you know, relationship, you're getting in a fight, or maybe you just had a miscarriage, or maybe, you know, somebody just died because of COVID. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can take you down, but you got to be on the defense not to let negativity in. And I think where I like to bring this home to close it up would be, I think the biggest boat that was built in the Bible, Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark. What I like about Noah's Ark is it's a representation of saving us, right? That's what it is. It's like, okay, you know, all this negativity in the world is actually going to sink the world. God gave instructions to build this boat to save us, right? Save us in a world that's about to be destroyed. So, you know, with all these things happening in the world today, you know, I think the boat, the wood, represents Jesus and represents the cross. Cross is made out of wood. I'm just going on a limb here, which is also out of wood.
Lots of wood.
Yeah. The cross is made out of wood. The Noah's Ark was made out of wood. And, you know, just tying those in, First Peter chapter 3, verse 20, Peter really illustrates that Noah's Ark was a representation of the baptism, and baptism is a representation of what Jesus did on the cross. So he connects those dots of the wood cross and what Jesus did on there, and Noah's boat. So how do you prepare your boat in life from sinking? Jesus is my answer. That's I mean, that's what I was going to simply say. But to bring it all home, Jesus in every case is the scuttle door that you shut when water's coming so it can't enter the boat, right?
Yeah.
Jesus is the water that we shoot if there's a fire. You know, Jesus is that answer. And what Jesus did, and why is Jesus the answer? Because what he did on that wood cross, he died and resurrected. And our biggest enemy out of anything is what? Death, right? Death is our enemy. Death is the number one sting to us. We have all these issues in life, but when we die, that's it. That's the number one enemy. But he conquered that. By what? Getting up on the cross, he died and then he resurrected. So his resurrection is the representation of the boat floating and saving us. So if you don't want to sink in life, man, put yourself on that cross and just trust Jesus got you. You know what I'm saying? Just trust Jesus got you. Crosses float.
Yeah.
They're made out of wood. So yeah, so Titanic.
Titanic.
I'm just thinking Jack holding on to the wood.
Yeah.
He put a homegirl up on the floating wood and it saved him. So wood floats, man.
Wood floats.
And you know, Jesus gave us as a key in life. Just, you know, we can always rest everything at the cross, let it die, because he got you. So if that's any encouragement to anybody, you know, water leaks trying to get in, just. You know, that's what's cool about the Bible and the promises and encouragement in the Word. You know, those are like, you know, fire hoses on fire. You know, those are promises and things like that. So read those as encouragement and just know, you know, Jesus has got us through this, and don't let this negativity get in your boat. Yeah. You know, you're going to float through this.
Yep.
So that's
awesome.
That's it, man.
Yeah. Lengthy today. That's going to wrap up episode. Oh man, we're in season 2. I think it's like 8 or something.
Chapter 2,
verse 8, I think. Yeah, something like that. But man, good stuff, guys. This is share this with your construction worker friends.
Yeah.
Your business owners, construction business owners. Super good stuff today, Richie. There was there room for 2 on that piece of wood?
Yeah, there was. Well, you know, you know, now that, you know, I don't know. Me and my wife are just watching Titanic, and then with Jack, like, I was like, come on, man. It's like getting on a surfboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I know you could have got up there. Like, he tried twice. You could tell he's not from Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you haven't yet, watch Titanic, and we're going to see you next Wednesday for The Boat. Thanks for joining us with us today, guys.
All right.
I come from a poor family. Yeah. We ain't never